Science Explorers. This is your lead scientist, Miss Shirley. Today's lesson is on how do butterflies help plants by spreading pollen and seeds. Now let's remember what we last learned. In our last class, we watched the Ed Puzzle Animal Homes and we explored animals that are able to fly and the different types of animal homes, homes that were built, homes that were found, and how they live in those homes. Now, let's introduce some words that we need to learn for this lesson. Pollination. It's when you move or carry pollen to a plant, causing the seed to be fertilized so it can grow more plants and more flowers. So, looking at this picture, the bee pollinated this clover. Let's revisit that word habitat. It's the natural home for an animal, plant, or insect. Okay, Science Explorers, we're going to explore and investigate some questions and revisit some work we've done. Today we're going to think back to our butterfly habitat drawings. In other drawings we showed how butterflies would drink nectar from flowers, and we also drew how butterflies laid their eggs on a leaf of a plant. So as we think about how we can add to our drawings, let's think about the animals in the butterfly habitat that you can include besides the plants you drew in the drawings. Now think also about what can be done to protect butterflies from animals that will eat them. So Science Explorers, think, write your response. Next, Science Explorers, I want you to answer what can be done to make sure the butterflies return to the habitat year after year. So Science Explorers, think, write your response. And Science Explorers, can you add to your butterfly habitat drawings to include the animals that will come to live there? So in here I would like you to draw in the animals that would live in a butterfly habitat. Next, we learned that today that animals share habitats with other animals that can compete for food. They do compete for food and eat the butterflies at sometimes and support the habitat. In our last video, we watched that Corbin builds this butterfly habitat, and he will have to think about other animals that will live there too. So I want you to sort and categorize, then list the animal that you will expect will visit this butterfly habitat. Now here's a list you can start with. For insects, it's bees, ants, wasps, crickets. For mammals, it's mice, raccoon, opossums, birds, cardinals, and blue jays. Now we're going to watch this Ed Puzzle video. It's called the Monarch Butterfly. And as you're watching, I want you to think about some dangers to the butterfly, because I want you to think, and I want you to list the right one here. Okay? So here we go.
Lots of dangers await us on our journey. We must overcome them all so we can reach a nice warm place where we will survive the winter. We might be caught and eaten by spiders, frogs, birds. We can even be caught by a cat. We have to eat a lot during our journey, so we have enough strength for such an exhausting trek. And for that, we use our long sliding sucker. Look how skilled we are. We can get anywhere with it, even into the most narrow parts of a flower. We'll reach every drop of precious nectar, which we love and need so much. Now you won't laugh at our sucker anymore, will you? You couldn't do something like that. For monarch butterflies like me, it is something perfectly natural. The same as transforming from a caterpillar into a butterfly, or flying such long distances. But we're sensitive to temperature changes, so we can't survive when it's too hot or cold. But that's the same for all creatures in the world. Over the winter, the places we are born are so cold, we wouldn't survive if we stayed there. To survive the winter, we fly to central Mexico, to the border between the states of Michoacán and Mexico. Monarch butterflies live all around the world, but only the ones that are born in Canada can make this long journey. In Mexico, we fly through deep forests that are formed by huge old trees where it's just the right temperature for us. Thousands and thousands of us will settle on these trees. We will sit next to each other. The bigger the trees are, the more heat they give to our fragile little bodies. That's how we survived the winter, side by side in the forest, full of life-saving warmth. So what do you say? Aren't we amazing?
Okay, science explorers, our next question we have for you is, what are some ways that butterflies can help by spreading pollen and seeds? So let's watch this quick clip of pollination to find out. Remember how the caterpillar likes to eat the leaves? And it's coming out of its larva and turning into a butterfly, a beautiful butterfly, which flies onto the flowers to eat the nectar. And it flies in droves of butterflies together. Many of them traveling to central Mexico, where there are big trees and temperate climates, warm enough and large enough to keep them warm and heated well as they stay together on the branches of the leaves, and then landing again on the flower to drink the nectar and pollinate the flower. So again, science explorers, think about what are some ways that the butterflies help plants by spreading pollen and seeds. So think, and write your response. Now, let's summarize. Based on what we just saw, describe how the butterflies help plants. And how do butterflies depend on plants? So science explorers, think, write your response. And finally, what do you think of today's lesson? Share what you think. Okay, science explorers, today we learned how butterflies help plants by spreading pollen and seeds. And we also learned that butterflies depend on plants. Okay, until we see you next time, ciao for now.